that Archon wholesale, and ouch, 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 ouch. A lot of those troops ending up a lot weaker as a result. But again, it looks like Reach just had better macro or better economy altogether. And maybe that's the difference in the Nexus, or maybe it's just better macro management altogether. But he's a much larger attack force pressing down. And it looks like he's going to continue to be aggressive, continue to push it. But again, it's going to come down to reinforcements. And it looks like this time Anytime has a closer reinforcement point. And I think he wants it a little bit more. Reach backing out, losing a couple Dragoons in the retreat. And Anytime holds with weapons 2. And I think, yeah, it looks like Reach was still at weapons 1, so that was kind of another big deciding factor in that match. So Anytime able to hold that 830 position, he's still got to get across the bridge to kind of utilize it, make sure it doesn't get completely taken out immediately. Looks like, okay, he did manage to get the troops in position. He does have cannons going there. Needs to get his, well, first of all, he needs to get that gas up as quickly as possible. Another little side storm there to weaken the units a little bit. Still, I don't think there's enough of an attack force for Reach to really press that or do anything about it. But now Anytime actually in an economically superior position, if he can really just macro and actually getting aggressive, he's going to, Anytime in an uncharacteristic move, usually he'll play a little bit steadier than this. He does have the economic lead, but it looks like he's going to press up and actually take out a lot of probes. And Reach not going to go for a base trade. He's just going to run up and, oh, let's see if he can power that Nexus down. Reach doesn't look like he's going to go for a counterattack. He's still going to try to engage his attack force. Now Anytime can just back out victoriously, taking out that 9 o'clock position. That's the risk of taking that base, is it's just so vulnerable. Maybe a couple retreat size storms would be really worthwhile here to make sure the run away. And now engaging kind of down the ramp. Reach actually boxing in from both locations, and he might actually, ooh, and actually I like that, ooh, no, oh, nice side storm there on the Dragoons in the background. There's a lot of Zealots, though, not a lot of Zealots for Anytime, so I think he's going to end up losing some position here. Some reinforcements really need to come in and help this out, and it might be a base trade. Though 3 cannons in the background, but that's 4 Archons for Reach pressing down, but Zealots coming in from the back, and it looks like more Zealots coming from the north. Reach going to gather up. Let's see if he decides to press in once again. He does have that level 1 armor and level 2 weapons. I think it was still level 2 weapons on the opposite end. And I think that was calculated on Anytime's part. Just try to rush in while I think he had that upgrade advantage for just that about 20-second window. Able to take out a Nexus as a result, and now Reach in a good amount of trouble. Anytime's definitely caught up in this game. He's economically ahead. I think the main is completely mined out for Reach, so he really needs to get these bases. The gas is actually a significant factor here as well, because that's again going to be more Archons, more High Templar, as you can see actually right now in this battle. And Anytime with a much larger attack force running into Reach's force, he also has better position. I expect him to come away with this battle with some decent micro pretty easily, but some nice micro actually crashing down on that Archon, so this is going to come out a little bit more advantageous than I thought, and it looks like he is going to be able to kind of split this army, but reinforcements should be there in not too long. Okay, there's the reinforcements. So the Archon's actually going to have to hold up short, but they have been able to isolate at least that 830 position. It looks like Reach, realizing his predicament, is just going to start pumping units rather than anything else. And this is a very Dragoon-heavy army from Anytime, and he needs to be a little bit careful engaging anywhere but those bridges as a result, bringing that Dark Templar background, which somehow got 5 kills that we missed on screen. 9 o'clock position repopulated. Now Reach actually, I take it back, I thought he was going to be aggressive, but he's going to try to take that 3 o'clock position, or I guess the 230 position as well. Very risky, and unfortunately for him, Anytime going to spot it immediately. Wow, that's wall hacks. And that Dark Templar able to run up, take out that cannon, and probably halt that, I'm sorry, take out that pylon and halt that Nexus. Another side storm across the middle field, and Reach pressing in once again. A couple Dark Templar in the mix to really kind of balance out those Zealots, but the Dragoon's actually melting left and right, and that's a lot of Archons. I think Reach has a much better unit composition than Anytime, but again, going back behind that bridge, Reach cannot pursue with such a melee-heavy arsenal here. Needs to be very careful with that Observer. If he ends up losing that Observer, those Dark Templar will absolutely wreak havoc, though. But he has managed to isolate out that 9 o'clock position, I'm sorry, that 830 position. I don't think he can really attack it, though, because otherwise he'd end up getting pincered from behind, or he'd end up risking losing another base. And it looks like, yeah, that Dark Templar is still hammering away at that Nexus. Nexus still going to warp in, but so it's more of a nuisance here, actually, than anything. The Observer kind of moving out to that location shortly. But Anytime is, again, as long as he keeps up with his macro, he should come out with this match. The Dark Templar now taking as an opportunity to kind of back off. And let's see, once Anytime sees this backhand expansion, if he decides, hey, you know what, let me just pump a lot of troops. I'm probably not going to take that pure 3 o'clock location. So, oh, and he's managing to sneak it all the way back into the base. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to pick off a High Templar, but let's see if he can get out in line. Looks like he's just going to be satisfied to go after a pylon and a little bit of distraction. Actually going to go after that pylon. That's the only pylon powering a lot of those gateways. So that's going to force an observer back there, as well as a couple zealots. And it looks like the zealots finally going to be able to take that that very annoying Dark Templar out. Pretty heavy army here for Reach. Once again, I feel like Anytime should have a much larger army. But I'm not seeing it. It looks like he's just going to string some more Zealots out here to the 9 o'clock, try to force Reach out of position. And the Zealot's going to run in, again, try to take out the cannons, and this is definitely going to cause Reach to flood out here. He's going to end up losing a lot of units, and Reach now going for a counterattack right on Anytime's secondary with all of his troops, and he's going to catch a lot of these troops kind of spread out. And this is a nice maneuver, I'd say, on Reach, because if he can't afford to lose this and not inflict damages on the opposite end. And it looks like Reach, yeah, just because that army is so spread out, is going to, in fact, be victorious in this. Good size storms along that ball, though. So Anytime really using the architecture to his advantage. But a nice counter size storm against all those Dragoons. It looks like Reach ending up getting a lot of his own troops stormed, though. And then a lot of cannons. A lot of cannons, which Size Storm doesn't do anything against. Let's see if Anytime can hold this with reinforcements. Anytime pressing in to the upper left instead of drawing those Zealots back, so he's going to starve Reach out. So even if Reach wins this battle, he's going to end up too far economically behind just because he's not going to have any bases producing, essentially. And in a minute or two, basically, Anytime's going to be able to run him over. The Zealots continuing to flood in, and Size Storm, yeah, Size Storm cleaning up the leftover Dragoons. And it looks like taking out that last Archon as well. Yeah, the Zealot's easily going to be able to take that Nexus out. Now Reach is too far behind. He's not going to have the bases to maintain with Anytime. He needs some sort of strategic hit right now. Just running, I'm not sure what he can do actually here to get back in this. It just seemed like it was it was kind of the slowly tightening noose. That was a nice maneuver, I would say, on his part, but Anytime doing the right thing and immediately realizing that Reach had committed all of his forces. I thought there'd be some cannons or maybe a High Templar or an Archon or something back there at the 1030 location, but dedicating all of his troops, so Anytime just able to take that task force of Zealots, Task Force Prime, able to run and just take down a couple Nexus here and there. Looks like he's still got another good group, but Anytime not missing a beat, immediately going to the 3 o'clock, and he's going to be able to take this out as well. Reach just too spread, oh wow, spread too far thin, and I think once this base goes down, that is going to be GG. I cannot see this base standing up, and even if the troops do manage to get there, it's about equivalently sized attack force. There's GG from Reach. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Yeah, it looks like Reach getting beat by Anytime, and you can see kind of the smirk on his face. A little bit difficult match for him. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Going to continue to try to do some Day 4 Heritage stuff. Thanks for listening.